The Healing Years. How Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan found peace after the storm. Hey everyone! Welcome to K-Drama Chronicles. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, share, and turn on the post notifications so you never miss a new upload. Fame fractured them. Silence saved them. The aftermath of a storm. When the lights dimmed and the crowd quieted, all that remained was the echo of fame and two young men trying to make sense of what they had survived. Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, who once stood shoulder to shoulder on stage and screen, suddenly found themselves drifting into solitude. The world that had once celebrated them with fireworks and flashbulbs had turned cold, chaotic, and demanding. The headlines that once lifted their names were now threatening to bury them. What many fans didn't realize was this. The breakdown wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Rebuilding behind closed doors. Xiao Zhan's journey. After enduring a wave of online backlash so intense it left the internet divided, Xiao Zhan disappeared from the public eye. What followed was one of the most powerful transformations the industry had ever witnessed, not in fame, but in character. Away from cameras, he took time to reflect. He began prioritizing mental health, grounding himself in activities that had nothing to do with popularity: art, writing, quiet mornings, time with loved ones. And then, slowly, he returned. But this wasn't the same Xiao Zhan. He no longer performed for approval. He no longer feared criticism. This version of him was honest, thoughtful, and whole. In interviews, he opened up in a way that stunned fans. "I learned that disappearing wasn't failure," he said softly. It was survival. He began choosing acting roles that reflected his inner growth, more subtle, more psychological, more human. His music carried emotional weight. His gaze, once wide-eyed and innocent, now held a wisdom far beyond his years. Fans noticed. The world noticed. But most importantly, he noticed himself. Wang Yibo's evolution, creating his own rhythm. While Xiao Zhan's healing was soft and visible, Wang Yibo's was silent and internal. Even during their peak fame, Yibo had always been known for his stoicism. But after their joint spotlight began to fade, he too faced something rare: freedom, and with it, uncertainty. Wang Yibo stopped accepting every brand, every scripted appearance. He became more selective, guarding his energy like a precious flame. He returned to his roots: dance, racing, music. These weren't just hobbies. They were his language. His way of expressing what words couldn't capture. He began producing darker, more personal tracks, lyrics that hinted at pressure, loss, confusion, and self-worth. He released choreography that spoke through movement. He joined film projects that allowed him to dive deeper into roles, not just perform them. When fans asked why he didn't speak much anymore, he replied quietly, "Because not everything needs to be explained." And that's who Wang Yibo became: a man of depth, of discipline, and of delicate strength. Healing in parallel, not apart. Though they no longer appeared publicly side by side, the connection between Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo never truly faded. It wasn't in interviews or social media posts, it was in the subtle, poetic synchronicity of two souls walking the same road in different lanes. When Xiao Zhan released a song about isolation, Yibo shared a dance video titled "Alone." When Yibo mentioned needing quiet people around him, Xiao Zhan posted a quote about gentle hearts. During a fan meeting, someone asked Xiao Zhan what loyalty meant. He smiled faintly and said, "It's who stays even in silence." Were they talking about each other? Maybe. Maybe not. But fans who had followed them from the beginning knew. Their bond had evolved into something private, sacred. It didn't need to be validated. Just was. The power of stepping away. What makes their journey so inspiring is not just what they survived, but how they chose to heal. They didn't chase sympathy. They didn't fuel gossip. They chose themselves. They showed the world that it's okay to fall apart. That breakdowns don't mean the end, they can be the beginning of something softer, wiser, freer. And for two men who once carried the weight of millions on their shoulders, they now carry something far more important: peace. Their legacy, beyond the spotlight. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan may never return to the stage together. They may never recreate the magic of the Untamed. But what they gave the world is far more timeless than a drama. They gave a generation permission to pause, to walk away from noise, take off the mask and breathe. Their healing years weren't glamorous. They were quiet victories, the kind that don't trend but change lives. Because sometimes the greatest strength isn't how loud you roar, it's how softly you rebuild. If this story touched you, like the video, comment below how Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan has inspired you. Subscribe for more celebrity journeys, real-life stories, and emotional healing narratives. Hashtags. Hashtag Wang Yibo, hashtag Xiao Zhan, hashtag healing years, hashtag from fame to peace, hashtag the untamed, hashtag Wang Xian, hashtag C-drama growth, hashtag celebrity healing, hashtag silent strength, hashtag mental health matters, hashtag Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan, hashtag quiet victory, hashtag healing in silence, hashtag fame to freedom, hashtag C-drama inspiration.